So welcome back, guys, to Khan Cloud Academy, and let's start today. AG 400 course. So in this course, we're going to cover a lot of things. Okay, in end to end. So let's little bit. We're going to talk about how is AZ-40 exam. Divided in configure, process, and communication, design and implementing source control, design and implementing build and release pipelines, and develop a security and compliance plan, implement on instrument and strategy. So this is how the course is divided as per the exam, right? But our focus is, as a DevOps engineer, you are a developer or infrastructure administrator, or who also has a subject matter expert in working with the people, process, and product to enable continuous delivery of your values in your organization. So, and your responsibility is to, collaboration with the code, infrastructure, source control, security, compliance, continuous integration, continuous deployment, testing, delivery, monitoring. Also, for the last is the feedback. So, AG 400 courses for whom? For the developers, site reliability engineers, and Azure administrator. And you must have experience with these administering and developing in Azure. So if you don't know about Azure services, you go with the AG 900 courses, go with AG 104 courses, and go with AG 204 courses, then come to the Azure DevOps side. Okay, so Azure with the strongest skills in at least of these areas, I just told you, Azure DevOps and GitHub. So GitHub, if you don't know, you little bit understand about how to create a project and all. So I'm creating this video and for AZ 400 course, basically end-to-end course, and my courses is very lengthy and very point to point. So you have to stick with the videos till the last. Okay. Otherwise, you're not going to understand whole concept, for this Azure DevOps. So this is the exam AZ 400 designing and implementing Microsoft DevOps solution, right? So let's move to the next. So let's get started on a DevOps transformation journey. So what to understand from this? So AG 400 basically you can prepare with two ways, instructor ways or self-paced. So self-paced you can go with the Microsoft website directly. You can search AG 400 and you can start your journey with the Azure DevOps, right? And this is a lot of modules you can go with that, get started on Azure DevOps transformation journey. So this is our first topic, and we will going to cover all these, uh, courses inside it, right? So moving to the next. So introduction to DevOps. So what you understand from the DevOps? So understand what DevOps is and the steps to accomplish it. Identify teams to implement the process. Plan for the transformation with the shared goal and timelines, and plan and define timelines for the goals. So if I say DevOps is the union of people and process and product to enable continuous delivery of a value to our end users, right? So let's move to the next slide. Okay. So DevOps is the union of people, process, and product enable continuous. DevOps is not just automating a pipeline so we can quickly deliver software. Remember this, our goal is to deliver value. The term and user was also very careful chosen. The value we produced must reach our end users. If the value only reaches the dev and Q environment, but it is held up before reaching production where it can be realized by our end user, we are still failing. It is important to realize that DevOps is not a product. You cannot buy DevOps and install it. DevOps is not just automation or infrastructure as a code. DevOps is people following a process enabled by product to deliver value to our end user. So this is very deep sentence which I read, but you have to understand this. We because here DevOps is not a product. DevOps is a set of people, right? where they do the common practice. They use common CI/CD kind of pipelines. They do code testing. They write IC codes. It doesn't matter which tool and technology you are using. I think if I talk about CI/CD, there's a 10 number of tools, right? You can use Azure DevOps. You can use AWS Code Build Deploy. You can use Jenkins. This is the common used by the people. Bamboo, right? So, what to learn to start your DevOps journey, right? So, this is what is all about. You have to how you have to plan for the DevOps, how you going to work on your use source control, scale Git for an enterprise, combine artifacts, design a dependency management strategy, manage secrets, implementing continuous integration, implement a container build strategy, design a release strategy, set up a release management workflow, implement a deployment pattern, optimize pattern mechanism. So this is what we have to think about, right? So same way, AWS, Azure DevOps, basically, uh, in the learning path, you have to prepare a DevOps journey. First, you have to keep in your mind. You will learn the main characters of the DevOps process, tools, and people involved during the life cycle. Okay. So what are you going to learn on this in this particular things? How I mean this video. So how to plan for DevOps, use source control. Okay. So DevOps transformation journey is a series of, kind of, you can say, in Azure basically provide 9 learning paths. So you will familiarize with Azure DevOps and GitHub, also learn many services, feature integration with tools and support your DevOps process. So later we will go with the lab also. And I have a subscription pay as you go. So I will show you each and everything with the deployment, right? So that's what I have planning. So AZ for a configuration area, okay. You have to plan accordingly. But before going to this course, I recommend you must work on the AZ-400 prerequisites. And what is the prerequisites? Prerequisites, that's we have to discuss, right? So this is the prerequisite basically. So if you want to be a successful learner, will have pre-knowledge understanding of the following. Do you have it? Cloud computing concept, including understanding of PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS implementation. You must at least know about PaaS services, SaaS services, and IaaS implementation. Azure administrator or Azure developer with proven expertise in at least one of these areas: version control, agile, software development, and core software development principle. It would be helpful to have experience in an organization that delivers software. If you are new to Azure and cloud computing, consider one of the following resources. So, what is a free online Azure fundamental, instructor led, or you do? I have not created this Azure 100 course. This is a very fundamental course. And if you go with this, your 80% concept for the Azure cloud is going to be clear on the Azure 900 only. So next is the instructor program is AZ-104, Microsoft Azure Administrator. You going to use a lot of services, how to use it. Okay. That is in your Azure developer take the so Azure developer create a serverless application in AZ-204. So developing solution to Microsoft. So these are the courses before going to AZ-400. So this is the prerequisite. I'm very focusing on this because you have to learn those things. Okay. So AWS developer, you must create an Azure DevOps organization and team project for some expertise. If you don't have it, so we will create an organization Azure DevOps. Okay. So you must have to create your organization. I will show you in a few minutes how going to you create this Azure demo Demonstrator. So this is all available on the even Azure DevOps courses as well. Okay. And you also have to join one on GitHub account, create a new repository, creating a new repository, GitHub Docs. So this is what is all about, right? So you must complete this prerequisites before moving to the this Azure DevOps courses. Okay. So next topic is what is Azure DevOps? What is DevOps? So the contraction of dev and ops refers to replacing soiled development and operation. The idea is to create multidisciplinary teams that now work together with shared and efficient practices and tools. Essentials DevOps practice is include agile planning, continuous integration, continuous delivery, and monitoring of applications. So DevOps is a constant journey, right? So DevOps is a constant journey. So so let's start with the basic assumption about the software development. We will, do you know about the ODA, observe, orient, decide, and act loop? So ordinary designed to keep fighter pilots from the being shot of the sky. So this is kind of, the loop is an excellent way to think about staying out of your competitors, right? This is business. A lot of things is involved in the Azure DevOps, right? So I'm not going to dig more about it. So you have to observe, orient, decide, and act accordingly. Data inform. So data inform means, you must have the right approach where what we can use it and what we cannot going to throw out. Okay, strive for the validation is learning. So this is how you have to good, indifferent or bad. What is good for your project? What is not good for you? What is different for the project? What you have to going to adapt. So this is what is all about, right? So when you adopt DevOps practice, you shorten your cycle time by working in smaller batches, using more automation. DevOps is all about the using the more automation, guys. Hardening your release pipeline, improving your telemetry, deploying more frequently. That your deployment process is going to be very frequent. So this is what you have to optimize, validate, and learn about those things. Okay. So that's it in this part, and let's move to the next. Identify transformation teams. So this is very important, right? So moving ahead, you know, continuous integration drives the ongoing merging and testing of the code, leading to an early defining of defects. Other benefits include less the time, fighting merge issues and rapid feedback for the development teams. So this is what you can manage with these. And we have to go with the agile planning and learn project management techniques. Okay, plan and isolate work into the sprint, right? DevOps also may hurt you first because you're not going to understand each and everything very quickly because it's not easy. It's not for everybody. But you can make it easy by doing your hard work. Same like you go to the gym and you do training. So first 3 days, 4 days, your muscles pain too much. When because you not adopted that practice that have the most significant impact. Cross trainer to develop your synergy. So one day when you pump your muscles, you come with up, you said, hey man, you look so different, right? So this is what is all about the DevOps. So we are talking about identify transformation teams, right? So so unless you are building an entire new organization, one of the significant challenge with any DevOps transformation project is taking action that conflicts. So at least in some way with ongoing business states. So the first is the availability of staff. Suppose the staff member leading the transformation project are also involved in existing day-to-day work within the organization. So it will be a challenge to focus on the transformation when their role directly impact customer outcomes. So this is what we all know. Desperate situation involves customer will always win over a long-term project like DevOps transformation. Another issue will also be the organization operates, implementing existing process, procedure to support current business outcomes. So the disruption required for a true DevOps transformation will usually challenge existing process and procedure. Doing that is often difficult, right? So this is what we have to go with. So for DevOps promotion, the separate team should be composed of staff members. You have to focus on and measure the transformation outcomes and not involved in the day-to-day operational work. So first thing, because DevOps is completely a research kind of work, guys, you have to develop something. The team might also include external experts that can fill the knowledge gap, right? Also helping to advise and process that are new to the existing staff members, right? So that's what you have to pick the people, right people, interested people who want to do something for the organization. Okay. So exploring shared goals and you have to define the timelines. So what is this? As written here, these outcomes should be included in specific measurable target. Reduce the time spent on fixing bugs by 60%, reduce the time spent on unplanned work by 70%, and reduce the out of hours work required by staff to no more than 10% of total working time. And same may remove all the patching of production system, you can say. So defining timeline for the goals, measures goals also need to have a timeline. While it is very easy to get, long-term goals, it is also easy to put off work when you do not require it for a while. So this is essential to have an ongoing series of short-term goals. Overall projects should have timelines that span anywhere from a few months to a year into any DevOps transformation project, right? So this is what you have to think about, right? And improving should be clear, measurable, ideally evident to the organization and its customer. So the timeline should not be too short and should also be always be challenging yet achievable. A review should occur after each short-term goal to help plan to the next one, right? So you can say the several timelines, right? So you have to define for the goals. This is the 4 points I mentioned here. So these are the several advantages in the short timelines. Okay. So shorter timelines are like it is easier to change plans for the priority when necessary. It reduces delay between doing work and getting feedback help. Ensure that the learning and feedbacks are incorporated quickly. It is easier to keep organizational support when positive outcomes was clear, right? So this is what it's about. So, but we have to do this, and same way. Okay. So I will see you in our next video, right? So stay tuned. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day.